Okay, it's daybreak, so I'm going to cut in on the petrified forest layer instead of following the road and going up to the cinder cone. And as you can see, there's more petrified wood than there is soil. So here I go. It's going to be hard not to pick up and look at every little rock and piece of wood. See, I'm in about 200 feet, and it's just all petrified wood. But none of it is opalized or like agatized, so it's, you know, it's worthless. Anyway, I'll show what the petrified wood layer is. Hopefully this is not too dark, but you see that hill in front of the cinder cone? That's one. This ground here is, you know, just volcanic ash. It's sitting on top of the shinarump conglomerate. Like 10 feet below my feet is the shinarump conglomerate. But that is outcrop of the petrified forest member. Remember, a lot of it's been eroded away. That's why it's sitting there like a hill. Okay, and then there's another one. And then more over there in the middle distance. You can't see them too well. Not the cliffs. Those are just sandstone. But the mounds that you see sticking up, if you come here, you want to explore the hills, those low hills. That's where I'm going to be looking. See a deer? It is beautiful out here. I'm coming up to the petrified wood layer. Just for context, so that I don't always just show close-ups. Okay, the first thing I notice is it's pretty much sandstone. Okay, so the shinarump conglomerate that's like 75 feet below my feet, that flooded down off of the highlands, gravel and coarse sand. But then, you know, a few 100,000 or millions of years later, it had dried out, and so you were getting more sand instead of the initial gravel that washed down. So we'll see. But this is what I first spot. That is the layer above the shinarump conglomerate is sandstone. Anyway, I'm a couple hundred feet up, and there's no more petrified wood on the surface. So this sandstone was laid down, it was flooded down wet. And there's no petrified wood, zero. So this here, these hills that stick up, represent a period of time that it was sandy, water, maybe underwater, because remember the ocean would go up and down, 400 feet. So the petrified wood layer is below my feet, not up on the top of these hills. The petrified wood is all down there on the surface, right where I'm pointing the camera. Now I'm up near the top. I did see one little piece of petrified wood, right there. So even though this was sandy and water washed, that somewhere in there was a few trees. So I don't know. The whole point of all this is you're supposed to try to picture being 215 million years ago. What did it look like? I mean, that's what this is all about. Not just standing here and saying, oh, I found a piece of wood. There's a farmer's place. There's nobody using it right now. I can tell because the gate with the road, there's no tire tracks. Okay, now I'm going to show the looking north. There's coming up the ravine. See the ravine right in the middle? It just kind of like looks lit up. But right there, dead center, is where you pull out on top. And then I'm parked over there. You can't quite see the van, but there's other vehicles. Okay, see that pointed mountain? Way in the distance? That's the one that I took pictures of. I may splice this video to show it. Just for reference where you're at. Now that plane, all that surface, that's just solid petrified wood. Okay, and there's okay, I'm up on top, and the reason I'm holding the camera down below this rock is the sun shining in the lens does strange things. But anyway, I think I'm going to work my way down and go over to the shinarump conglomerate over there. It's far more interesting. Okay, see the mesa there, the field, the plateau? The question is, why is that there? Okay, you see those soft mudstones? They get wet and they wash away. See how they're wearing back further and further and further? That's because they get down to the shinarump conglomerate and it won't erode. So that's what that is. That's what that plane is. And so even those, see how they have the capstone of rock on top. But the stuff in the middle, the slope, that just washes away. That's how come all that. This was, hundreds of feet deep, if not a couple thousand feet deep. Well, it got washed away. Not everything is solid rock. Stuff can be millions of years old and it does wash away. Okay, up on top here, would this have been covered in pumice and ash? You bet. Sure, it would have got some on there that washed away. And am I looking to see if I find any basalt bombs that shot up and then flew and landed? I mean, I'm right on the flank of the volcano almost. So you bet I am looking for stuff like that. Because if a chunk of basalt got up here, there's only one way. It had to be a bomb flying through the air. But bad part is I don't see any. But just don't think I'm just walking around and looking at trees. No, I'm looking for everything. Damn deer. I was expecting it because I saw I was following right in fresh tracks. A mule deer. He stormed off. Shit. I'm going to take a picture of that just to document that that hill. I'll head down from here and go over to that flank right there, and then I'll double back towards the rocks. Now the basalt thing, the basalt level that flowed out right in the middle there, that's where I went last week. Right where the camera's pointed, I went up that slope and over the top, and then I circumnavigated the cinder cone. So I'm going to go right there, and then turn back towards the rocks if I don't find anything interesting. I do want to point out one thing. All of Zion got eroded away just in the last 2 million years. So the surface that you're seeing there, well, that's an erosional surface. And so suppose some mountains lifted up, or suppose this area started subsiding, and then things started washing down and adding layers on top. Well then, what you're looking at, then that would be called an unconformity later. When they dig through a road cut and they see the layers, well, that surface there, that would be an unconformity. Okay, now coming down the slope, I did not start picking up petrified wood until quite a ways down. See, I'm picking up some petrified wood now. So, in other words, the petrified wood layer is not like that whole mound. You know, I'm almost down on the surface until I hit the petrified wood. So the petrified wood layer would be like the bottom, the lower part of that mound. That top part is nothing but sandstone. That's just to clarify when they use the term the petrified wood member or petrified wood layer. How thick is it? Thousands of feet or 2 feet? Well, it's not no hundreds of feet. It's a few feet. See, now I'm back down to where everything is petrified wood. Now, suppose these trees 250 million years ago were growing on, you know, soft, loamy soil. Well, then it would wash away, and the petrified wood would settle down. So this petrified wood could have been on soil that was 10 feet, 20 feet over my head, or more. Also, my usual disclaimer: I'm not a geologist. I'm what's called a hobby geologist or a citizen geologist. Very, very nice piece. But see, it's just chalky. But it's rock. It's not crumbly. It's rock, but it has no grain. Here's another one. You know, it is nice seeing them. Sure it is. You know, like there's a perfect piece of a log. You know. But can you saw it and come up with like opal? No. Let's see, there's some part of it is crystallized, but see that could just be a cavity that developed and then it agatized. So that's not opalized petrified wood. That's, you know, a lot of times you see cavities that they do eventually fill up with agate and form various crystals. Let's see. Let's see, that's not opal. Don't think I don't look for it, because I do. Opal has to be formed in really perfect conditions. Another nice one. That, you know, this one looks like a log. You know, it looks like a tree. You know, if it was like styrofoam, you know, then, well, I can't haul this back. It's in Zion. But, you know, at least this one looks like a tree. It looks like wood. But if you look at the end, it's just that same chalky stuff. These are among the biggest that I've seen. So that tells me that this part of the forest 250 million years ago would have been, you know, large, well-established trees. What are they called? Pine trees? Conifers. So this was a well-established area, not like swamp. It gets washed over every year or so. No, this was a good growth of forest for trees this size. It's a very, very good specimen. That's probably the same one, you know. Is that a single log? Yeah. Also, I've never seen one standing upright. I have not seen one as if like a tree got engulfed by a flood in a standing position. Never. Okay, now there's what I stuck my knee on, and they were even bigger and healthier and more robust. The paddles, the beaver tail paddles, were like twice as big. I'm telling you, those things stuck in like a half an inch. It was a gruesome thing. You would have fainted if you would have seen it. I'm getting ready to turn back. Here's some more logs. Oh, wow, this is a good one. Yeah, very good one. I know you get tired of seeing my foot, but see, that's one whole, not 2-foot log, but like 18 inches. And see, it's cast into the sandstone. See the bedrock sandstone? So there you go. I'll try and lift it. Good one, good one. Before I forget, the thing I look for is branches. See how that doesn't have any branches? So that could have been a thick trunk down near the ground, and maybe the branches were higher up. But branches or no branches identifies the type of trees, because there was only a few types of trees. And so was this a cycad? Probably not. But I don't see no branches. But the chunks of branches, maybe they're laying out. Maybe that's what's laying all over the ground, is the branches. But stuff like that I look for, branches. This sandstone conglomerate, I can confirm, is the same stuff as over where, you know, the rock field over there. It's just that this is freshly exposed, and so it's older and cruddier looking, but it is the same stuff. It's the same stuff. When I was up on top of the hill and I was looking over and saying I'm going to walk over on that flank, there it is. In other words, this whole time I'm just wandering through these woods, looking at petrified wood and stuff. See, this deer was bounding. See how far apart his toes spread with each impact? And see, each impact, he's going 10, 12 feet. There he lands again, and lands again, and lands again. So he was bounding 12, 15 feet at a time. See, here's the same sandstone conglomerate, and you know, there is a piece of wood. So the point is, I'm just showing that this stuff is barely underneath the surface, and it's the same stuff. I'll walk along the bottom of the flank, and then I'll double back. I'll double back over to the main area of the conglomerate. There's the hill I just came down from.